IndieCast episode 6. I got a very special guest with me today. I got Mr. Aaron Lee. How you doing?
Hey. I'm doing very good.
I appreciate you coming down and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We are at the world headquarters, TubeFi Studios.
TubeFi Studios. It's looking good in here.
Well,
Sounding
good. Appreciate it. But you and I know each other because just fellow musicians. Where are you from, actually?
I'm from Wise, Virginia. I live in Big Stone now.
Big Stone, yeah.
Didn't move too far away.
No, yeah, just down the road.
Went down the mountain.
But I see you at Mountain Music a lot, and I've noticed the hustling is what we were talking about earlier, just staying busy and playing a lot, and ask you to come
I have
down.
an addiction to toys, and Kevin facilitates that for me.
But, yeah, he's good for that. But so you're living in Big Stone, and you're from
Wise,
From Wise, very cool. Not too far, hour away. That's cool. So how long have you been playing music? We'll start there. We'll start early.
Well, I don't want to give my age away here. And Tony, you didn't prep me for these questions. But I started when I was 13 years old. I played in my first bar when I was 13.
Of course.
My dad had to come with me to make sure that I behaved
right.
well, and I did behave fairly well.
Right.
So I kept playing shows there on out, and I'll be 38 here in a couple months.
Look at there.
So,
hey man,
knocking on the door. It's right here. You can tell my age right here.
Yeah, look at this.
It's in my beard.
I just turned completely gray. Well, Wise, Big Stone Gap, I'm sure that's just those are big music towns, right? Musicians.
It really is, and it's a lot of different styles.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got your folk and your bluegrass and your rootsy music,
right.
which I love, and I was growing up on it, but. There's a lot of rockers out there. There's some really good jazz players out there. And I've got to play in some jazz bands and some rock bands and bluegrass bands.
In Big Stone and Wise and that whole...
Old Terry Russell, God bless his soul, he passed away last year, but amazing trombone player, played with Aaron Neville and stuff.
Yeah. And he's from that area. That's cool.
Well, he ended up there and went back to Cali. And,
right.
Jazz man needs to be in California.
That's cool. We have an ongoing theory that in the Appalachia, area... there's so many musicians because you just inherently there was nothing to do.
That's right, and that's true,
Right. So you pick up music. I mean, it goes from family to family.
And even if there is something to do, I'll have friends call me and be like, "Hey, man, we're gonna go do this," and I'll be like, "Oh man, I can't make it. I'm super busy. I'm doing stuff." And if you could, fast forward to see what I'm doing, I'm in the studio. I'm just playing guitar.
Right.
Solitude's addictive sometimes.
Right. So it's like we're all. Especially back in the day, pre-internet, we're driven toward that. There was nothing to do, so I'm going to play music, and that's your outlet,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Big Stone and Wise is no different.
It's that or play Odell Lake or Oregon Trail, so we had to pick up a guitar.
So who are you playing with right now?
I'm playing with Kaitlyn Baker. She's from Pound, Virginia. She's a Nashville recording artist. She's got a couple albums under her belt, and we are releasing one next month. On the 28th, so
April 28th, a new single.
Yep, and it's a whole new album. So it's
killer.
So, but we have released a single, a little precursor of it anyway. But it's going to be fully released on the 28th, and we're playing at the Silver Spur. Show starts at 8. There's a couple other bands going to be there.
Hey,
have to give a plug there.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Kaitlyn is what kind of genre? I mean, I'm asking. I know already,
right.
For people watching.
Well, she's country, and she has a huge voice, and I've known her since I recorded her first demo when she was maybe 11 or 12 years old, and she sounded like a 30-year-old woman. I mean,
That's
she
awesome.
has. You can believe it when she sings it. You believe it. It's just it's a believable voice. When she sings about heartaches, she sounds like she's had a heartache.
Right.
And
she's really young, right? Early 20s.
Yeah, I think she's 20. Getting me in trouble. I think she's 22 or 23. but yeah, and I got a chance to write a couple songs with her on this album. So
awesome.
I really enjoyed that.
She's had some radio play and a few things. There was she on like a compilation or something that really hit it?
The Zine Pack, which had tons of big names on it. But see, I'm not much of a country guy, so I don't know all these names. So sometimes we'll go show up and we'll play a show, and I'm like, who's Old Dominion? Who's Toby Keith?
Well, see, I didn't know who Old Dominion was, but I know Toby Keith.
See, I didn't either until I heard them playing after we played a show, and I was like, I know all these songs. They're a great band.
Yeah.
And we did get to play after Brad Paisley once, and I stood there from one stage while we were watching them play while doing a sound check, and I couldn't do a sound check because I was just
totally
this guy's a beast.
Our company BT Media Group just did Brad Paisley a concert, and it's just phenomenal. The gear that is backstage and everything. I took a bunch of pictures.
He has 7 huge Brad Paisley buses with Z amps all over them.
Yeah, and he was backstage with jogging pants on and a ball cap, hanging out.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
It was pretty cool to see that.
He's got a cool sense of humor. Like if you've been to his show, they've been kind of doing the same show for a year or two now.
Yeah.
And they have like South Park cartoon figures of him, like in the band running around.
Right.
And he Skypes with his wife and does a duet. So I mean, he keeps it relative.
That's cool. So that sounds like Kaitlyn's really. I mean, it is hard work in that genre to get out there and to get heard. And it sounds like she's pushing and
it comes down to passion, because there's a lot of pretty women with pretty voices out there.
Yeah.
And country music's one of those things where people formulate songs and pitch them to you. You take these songs. So for her to stay true and write and be part of that process and keep the passion, that's what keeps her above the rest.
And she's generating the buzz that, I mean, she's not just stagnant. She's writing songs. She's getting airplay. She's doing that thing, and that's cool. That you're right in the middle of that, doing these shows.
Yeah, she's opened up doors. I've got to play on stage with Larry Sparks, something I never thought I'd be able to do.
That's cool.
Jim Lauderdale, like we got to play songs with these cats.
Lauderdale, yeah.
And I remember catching him and Ralph Stanley a long time ago, and I was like, man, these cats are awesome. So
that's awesome.
But she's brought me into a whole lot of things. I wasn't a country player. I'm a rocker / pop rocker, and
that's what I was going to ask about that, because she being country, was that a big swing for you to try to, like, oh man, I need to learn some chicken picking, or or do you do you incorporate some of your pop stuff into her music?
Some of it I do, because I have a funky side to me, so some of it I do. But you learn a bunch of sliding 6 and thirds and things that I guess I knew that I didn't use before. Right. But it's beautiful in all kinds of music. So when people ask me, dude, I feel stagnant, what can I do? I'm like, learn a different style of music.
Yes, exactly.
Because
Joe Bonamassa said that. He said when he's at the house, he doesn't play blues. He's trying to learn country licks. He's trying to learn metal licks or whatever.
And you can incorporate it, and then it just furthers your style along. And Joe Bonamassa's a master.
Yeah, he's a beast. So if he does it, then we should too, I guess.
Everything he does, you should do.
Well, when you're out playing with Kaitlyn, what's your go-to rig? And I know from seeing you at the store, your rig can change quite a bit. Possibly,
it changes a lot. One thing that has
right
stayed constant is Dr. Z.
Yeah.
I love the Maz 38 reverb. I've gotten a couple from you guys.
Yeah.
I got a 212 combo and I got a single 12 combo, so it just depends how my back feels on that day. But I love that amp because I'm a pedal guy, so I use it straight for cleans, and so 38 watts gives me tons of headroom.
Right, tons of headroom.
And then I'm a drive junkie. I think I have 5 drives on my pedal board, and it starts with the Signa drive, which I use for breakup. So I get my breakup. I don't have to have my amp broken up, because if I want to play some Stevie Wonder in the set list, I can't be having it jangling.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So one thing that stays is my Signa drives, and then I stack them with some exotic pedals like the BB preamp and things like that. But I always have a wah and a pog on my board, kind of like your board in there. Those are
exactly.
We don't always get to use them, but I'm not going home anywhere without it.
Exactly, a pog and.
I've become a Tele man, and I don't know what's happened, because I always thought Telecaster was the most ugly guitar. I didn't want anything to do with the Tele or a Strat, because I was like, everybody's got one, everybody's got a copy of one.
Yeah.
And I was this big PRS Les Paul nut forever. And Kevin, I guess, introduced me to a Tele, and
the right Tele.
Life
changing.
And now I have 6 or 7 the right Teles, and I got to give a shout out to Mountain Music Exchange. I like shopping there because the people are good. And another thing is, Kevin can't help but to play these guitars for at least 15 or 20 minutes when he comes in. And I know that if he does that, he'll play all the bad notes out of it. And the guitar will be much better. So it's going to be better than any guitar you can get anywhere else because Kevin will hook you up.
It's Mountain Music is the musician's store is what we try to hope that it is, and that's cool. I'm glad you're a Telly guy. I'm a Telly. I say I'm a Telly guy, but to be honest, I haven't played Tellys in years. I've cut my teeth on them, and that's all I ever played.
But I think what I found that I like about it, and I always stayed away from single coils because I was more into the rock and stuff. But now that I'm into the country, I find that the Telly would have probably been better for me for rock too, because what I like is string sound. I like to hear the attack of a string. Yeah. I don't really care for the brat, which is why I use the Dr. Z mask, because it has a cut switch where I can cut out all the Telly stuff out of it, but still get the aggression that I'm looking for in my playing style. So,
well, that's cool. It's good. That's the good thing about music, how you can kind of change. So with Kaitlyn right now, are you using Tellys on stage, or you used to have some Gretches?
Every once in a while you'll see with Gretsch. Last summer played a couple of shows with Flying V, which was frowned upon. I believe her dad was like, "What are you doing? You don't need that." And I just said, "Leonard Skinner,
Yeah. But I mean, come on.
Telly is like I feel at home more so than on any other guitar.
Well, that's cool.
So that's where I'm at.
You've come to the point to where you're playing in this country band and you have a Telly. You fought it off as long as you could.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm having a great time.
Well,
cool.
And
I miss my pop rock friends. We were weekend warriors. We had a great time. But Kaitlyn has a drive and a vision to do something, and to be able to be a part of that. And I like to support people that have a lot of passion. And I have a studio, and I don't like to record everybody, but if it's somebody who reminds me of like my fire and my passion,
exactly,
I'll do it for free.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. I love music.
It's part of this. I mean, you find someone in this area that's a local that has that passion, that has the dream of something better kind of scenario, you jump on board and you want to help them.
Yeah, and I wish I would have jumped on board earlier on. They approached me earlier on, and I was like, I can't. I'm a rocker.
Right.
I can't do what you're wanting me to do.
Yeah.
And they said, look, we're in a pickle. Could you come and do a couple shows? And I said, okay, I'll learn the material.
And how long ago was that?
That was about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, as long as I've been with her. And I found that I really liked the songs. I really liked what they were about. And I wanted to stick around for the ride, and I wanted a chance to write with her and learn a new style. So
that's cool. Super cool. So is 2018 looking busy? I mean, the new single's going to drop in April, so I mean, kind of who knows.
And it's out there floating around right now. You can get it on iTunes right now. Blackbird, which is the name of the CD. It's also the name of the song, and that's a song that me and Kaitlyn wrote together in honor of Thomas Estep, who passed away last year, who was our rhythm guitar player. And
oh wow.
So we wrote a lot of songs together in the short time that we were in the band together, and man, just fell in love with that guy's heart and his drive and his passion, and that's why we immediately clicked. But
very cool.
So
well, Blackbird then is a single that it's out now. You can get it, but it's officially released, I guess, to radio. The album
Blackbird will be released on the 28th.
Okay, cool.
So
everybody needs to check that, and it'll be at all the usual places, I'm sure. iTunes, Google, and all Amazon,
that stuff. Wherever you get music. you will find it there.
You will even have some CDs for sale, right? Is it? Yes,
and they'll be for sale at the Silver Spur on the 28th. That'll be the first copies. So
okay.
And you'll get to meet and greet there with her. That's one thing about Kaitlyn. She spends the time, hours sometimes, multiple hours after a show when she's tired and wants to go to IHOP.
Because I'm sure I've seen some videos. You guys put it all on the stage. I mean, she gives 110%.
She does. She's constantly moving across stage, and you watch these performers on TV, and you can tell they're lip syncing and they're running and moving. But Kaitlyn, she does it, and she keeps her diaphragm in check.
Exactly.
And it's staying, and it does not falter. So I mean, she was born to be a singer.
That's cool.
Some people can practice and get really good, but she was just born with it,
Right.
Guitar wise, I had to practice. My brother was going out and partying on the weekends. And I was on the bed of my couch when he came in, later that morning.
Well, it's cool to see someone else in the area just doing their thing and kind of in it for the long haul. You're a musician, and it's not like you play guitar. You know what I mean? And that's when, just from hanging out with you at the store, I was like, we need to get you here and let everybody find out what you guys are all about and what you're doing.
That's what's happened. And I like I said, I love music of all kinds and all styles. We've had a couple guitar players that our bass player couldn't make it a couple times, so I've played bass on a couple sets for Kaitlyn.
For the greater good, right?
Yeah, for the greater good.
Well, I love what you and Kaitlyn are doing. Appreciate you coming in. And like we said before, maybe we can work on something, get Kaitlyn here. Maybe you guys do a song or something.
Yeah, she could totally come in. We played a lot of radio stations from here to Indiana. So we'd love
cool.
to.
Aaron, appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.